It's your boys and IMJ, we shut it down, man. A comic book look invading your town. Keep it comics, and let the beer flow. Be so global, since our premiere show. Riverdale Studios on fire, we don't know where to park. Technology and booze, it's like we're rolling out like Tony Stark. Skylar, Tom, and John, we the bestest. Swag so villainous, so please arrest us. Ready to go?
I guess so. Let's get this going.
Are you okay? You're off your rant now?
Off my rant.
Okay. Welcome to a comic book look, everyone. It's your weekly comic book show. We talk about anything in the comic book industry. You want it, you got it.
You got it.
My name's John, aka John on Demand. So sexy the way I pimp these issues.
Issues.
AKA Nerd Room. Turn off the lights and the walls come to life.
Ow!
F.
Foreshadow.
F. All right. Over here, you guys, I got the jury with me.
Oh, damn.
All right.
We're
Peanut
back.
Gallery in
Damn.
the house.
Peanut Gallery is in the house. Tom Devine, there can be only one ponytail extraordinaire. Goodness gracious. Skylar 1080.
1080.
King Kale. What?
King Kale. King Kale.
And of
Pimping that
course,
Russian Kale.
of course, you guys, KEN is in the cut. Thick Stack.
Thick Stack is back.
Big stack.
The stack is back.
That's going to stick around.
Oh, it is definitely sticking around,
The
Thicky.
stack.
I mean, there is no doubt about it.
Thickalicious.
Mr. Stack, you are for sure.
The thickest.
Mark, thank you again for that little spin to your nod. We
Stack
needed the
is a
fat
thick
stack
stack.
first, and then we switch it over to this Boss Hog Thick Stack, which is the most silliest nickname ever.
It kind of is.
I love it.
Anyway.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but guys, we're talking. We're gonna skip the comic books this time, and we're going.
Fuck
We're
comics.
going big screen. We're going small screen. We're going screens, boys. We're going tablet screens, TV screens, movie screens. You
Cell
know,
phone screens.
where are you watching?
Phone
Where are
screen.
you watching?
Eyeglass screens. You
Oh,
got the Google
Google
Glass.
Glass.
Glasses.
Google Glass.
Hey,
Oh, I'm recording your titties. You don't even know Google Glass. Woo!
Yeah, we got two.
Yeah.
We got two just upfront free pre-orders. Test them out. Let them know what they think.
Well, obviously they sent. They
these-
sent 5.
These guys are.
We
these
broke
guys
2
are
within.
watching back.
We
yeah,
broke
like-
2 within the first day. My kid ate a whole entire Google Glass. We only have 2 left, but we've been sharing between them.
I broke the other 2. I'm sorry.
Trying to open the box, he broke them. Did the same thing when
Too
he.
strong for my own good. I got angry. I turned green. Tom was turned on. It was a whole mess.
And I couldn't. It reminded me.
Oh.
Call back to the last episode.
And it just reminded me when you were like in 6th grade and you got that Virtual Boy and you were just trying to rip open to see those red pixelated, awesome Nintendo, the greatest 3D virtual
Polygons.
graphic polygon ever, and you just you started to turn green and I was like, you remind me of Polaris, and then you broke it, and we never got to play on your birthday. I mean, I never knew you until a couple years ago, but seriously, that happened.
In a parallel world, it did.
Shout out to Lorna Dane.
Oh my god, that is awesome. Okay, but we're talking cinematic universe, so right away I'm going to bust with you, and I saw Kevin Smith's Tusk. It's not a comic book movie, but it is Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith, he's comic
tied to
related.
comic books.
Is he
wholehearted.
though?
Kevin Smith, creator of Comic Book Men. I think it's a loose tie-in.
He
Creator
named
of comic book.
he named his daughter after
Blunt
a
Man and
comic.
Chronic. He's writing the Batman 66 right now for DC. He's wrote a bunch of Batman comics.
He's read a bunch of Batman comics.
And Chasing Amy, his main characters are comic book. I mean, you know, he's very tied to the comic
And
book.
Mallrats as main characters.
Exactly.
Blunt Man and Chronic.
Comics.
Yeah, man, come on.
I suppose.
So, John, were you talking shit? Man,
What?
you don't like Kevin Smith?
Like I told you, I have way more hats than he does jerseys. Alright?
I actually agree with that because your hat game is on
Yes.
fucking lock, dude.
2 Shecky jerseys.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've seen him in anything.
I'm just kidding, Kevin. I love you.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
Shout
Don't
out to
tell
Kevin
Kevin.
Smith.
Kevin Smith, man.
Just
Too fast.
loving all the things that he does.
I do really. I mean, I listen to all his
Canadian
podcasts.
national
I mean, I am a huge fan. So.
We actually just watched Bear City 2, and we loved your cameo in it. It was great.
He was in a gay movie.
Yeah, by-
centered on-
Well, it was his friend who...
Well,
it
it's
was
by
his friend's
Malcolm.
movie.
was
I've
awesome.
watched it. I love that
Is his
movie.
friend or is his brother?
It's
No,
his
Malcolm's
friend.
his friend.
It's his gay friend, Malcolm.
It was just like, okay,
I love-
I'm Kevin
He talks
Smith.
about him a lot in his.
I think he makes a good bear.
Q&A.
He has
Kevin
a beard.
Smith,
He's
yeah.
just pleasant.
Oh, not
huggable.
as good of a bear as Malcolm when he talks about the stories with him and like fucking hooking up with dudes online. It is so funny. It's like my favorite thing ever. He's like, yeah, sometimes I'll just get a twink over here and it'll just be like, suck my dick and then leave. Because that's how Malcolm talks. He's like, and then the twink will be like, is this all we're gonna do? And I'll be like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, God.
It's like, dude, you're so brutal, Malcolm. But anyway, got off topic here a little bit.
Shout
So
to
Kevin
Malcolm.
Smith related.
It is totally, but that is crazy. I love that. It's a documentary. But and Tusk, the new movie. It didn't release
that's
in
what
very
we're
many
talking about.
theaters, but we actually got it in Sioux Falls because one of the guys that
Wow.
works at our theater like petitioned it, and we weren't gonna get it, and then like 2 days before we got it to our theater.
Awesome.
And then when I went,
Who is this hero?
Yeah.
Do you have a name?
oh, when I went to Guardians of the Galaxy, he brought it up, and then he's like, oh, you guys got to come back for Tusk. I was like, actually, I've been following Tusk. I'm going to totally come back for the Tusk. The guy behind me was like, I've actually been following Tusk, too. I'm definitely going. So hopefully they're filling out theaters. They had 2 shows on Thursday, a couple more tonight. I mean,
So the answer is no. You don't have the hero's name that petitioned for Tusk.
Who is this Midwestern
I'm sure he's a
hero?
comic book
Whoever-
fan.
at that time, I
Yeah.
wish I had a comic book look card to pass him. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be
So
ordering
much
those real
money.
quick.
Sure. Yeah. Well, they got name tags usually.
Do you
I
have
know.
comic book look
Brian.
cards?
We
Yeah.
had some. Yeah, they were sweet. But I mean, I just need to. I need to order like 1,500
Yes.
for us all.
Hustle.
We can
Exactly.
do that.
Whenever we go to
Well, they
cons,
weren't so much
Tom just has
cards as they were
flyers
flyers.
Yeah,
everywhere.
flyers. I don't even the
It's
flyer
so
guy.
awesome.
Because thank you, wherever job I'm working for, I use the shit out of that printer.
I was just going to say, Vistaprint, if we show out their name, maybe they'll throw us some free business
Oh, but-
cards.
But anyway, it was a fucking crazy movie. This Tusk movie is about a guy who gets turned into a walrus, and it's basically what's cool about it is it's like a horror movie in the fact that it's like a person trapped in a place with a fucking evil man who's doing crazy evil shit to him. But it's a Kevin Smith movie through and through. Like tons of references. The like to Hollywood Babylon is a podcast he does with Ralph Garman, and Ralph's in it as a Canadian detective, and then also does the voice of the ringtone for Justin Long's cell phone that goes
Voice of the
ooh ah
ringtone.
for margaritas ooh ah, and it's him it's him like singing as Al Pacino, and it's from Hollywood Babylon, but it is like so key to the movie because it'll be what happens is there's a podcaster going to interview the Kill Bill kid. You'll find out what that is, and when you watch it, and he ends up something happens where he can't. Comes upon this other person who says he has a lot of stories, and that person drugs him and turns him into a walrus. And there's key parts where like all of a sudden Justin Long is like maybe not having all the limbs he had before when he woke up, and he finds his phone because it's people are calling him, and it's that voice tones or it's that ringtone, so it's like extremely depressing, sad. You're like so scared. This guy's like so trapped. Then it'll be like ooh ah for margarita.
Margarita.
And so it's like it is such a good effect, man. But then when they finally actually see Justin Long as in a walrus, because I mean I'm spoiling a little bit, I guess, but we're talking earlier in the movie. He runs into sorry guys.
Party foul.
He runs into a actual he turns into a walrus, so that's a big part. A lot of shit happens after it, but I mean, it is. I've never seen a movie like it. It's based on a podcast. There's tons of geek references, like a lot of internet like memes, things to the different podcasts he's done. So it's really cool in that aspect to be like on the inner circle. And then Johnny Depp's in it, which is just like fucking crazy. And he plays a French Canadian detective with a giant nose, prosthetic nose, and like this sleepy eye that is constantly moving around, and it's so funny, man. But then it is like a sad and crazy horror movie at the same time. So, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I wouldn't say it was like the greatest movie I've ever seen by any means, but for originality, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, no doubt about it. You know, I'm not giving, as you notice, I didn't give it the comic book look rating because I'm going to drop that right now.
Did you
Overall,
just totally slip?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because originality isn't a full rating.
Okay.
That is the highest.
That's true.
That's the
It's
highest
almost
point.
poetic.
Thank you.
Thick stack. All right.
Big step. But I mean, I just want to like. I mean, it was so original. So when you hear my beer score, I don't want you to think that I thought low of it
Okay.
because I'm giving it a 10 out of 10 in originality,
Okay.
but like a 4 beers out of 6 and like the whole entire thing because it drags on a little bit. It's like how long can you really like do the gag of a guy turning into a walrus?
Yeah.
All the other funny shit bring it way up for me. I enjoyed it at a 10 level, but if I was going to compare it to different movies that I've said have gotten
Like Judge
6,
Dredd. Right.
like Judge Dredd, I'm not. I mean, I can't give that because it's
Yeah.
not.
It's not Judge Dredd.
Exactly.
It's kind of like in Dogma, the shit monster shows up about halfway through, and you're like,
Okay.
The Go Goblin! Like, I even know the
come on
name of
now,
it.
Snoogans.
you could have
37.
just saved yourself.
We talked
this
about,
time.
Moochie Boochies.
We brought up nerd references, and I go to bed to Archer every night, and I just love that one that he drops about like Cypher being the gayest.
The
X-Men.
gayest, Cypher the gayest X-Men.
What?
Maybe you could translate every language like Cypher the gayest X-Men.
He just totally
What?
drops that out of nowhere, dude.
Oh, Archer's
In
full
Archer,
Archer.
he drops a Cypher
Oh,
reference.
he drops She-Hulk references. He's
Oh,
that show is full of all
yeah.
sorts of
It's so
nerd.
funny.
I mean, I've seen like 5 or 6 episodes, but I mean,
Oh my God.
to have a nobody knows Cypher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cypher's my boy.
Okay. Random
Getting
Archer
emotional
facts.
blotted over here.
They put a lot of work into that show because, like, sometimes if you watch the screens, like the numbers and shit that go across the screen, if you actually type in the numbers into a GPS, it's actually the studio where they make it in Atlanta.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they put a lot of thought, like a lot of running gags.
Dude, that is
into it.
so cool, man. I had no
Yeah,
idea. I
they
have
totally
to watch.
shouted out
I mean,
Cypher.
Cypher, that's my boy, man. Everybody knows. Favorite
So-
superhero episode. I put him on my favorite superheroes.
Yeah.
Him, Ghost from Thunderbolts. I mean, it's 10. I mean, those are my fucking crew right there,
Yeah.
man. Oh
that's
my
the
God.
Gayest X-Men ever.
I mean, I didn't
That
know
could-
that.
yeah,
He
it's
fucking, you know, he
Partially
made
it's because H. John Benjamin's a nerd.
He hooked up.
Like-
He hooked up with Kitty
mean-
Pryde for a little bit, and also he did turn into a robot. So if he's having sex with anybody, it's robots,
It's true.
it's computers. So
Science.
just want to let you know, science.
Science.
Oh my God! All right, well let's get to my favorite topic, then that 3-letter
Yep.
word on TV.
It's kind of like
The
Ken's
F word
really
that we
foxy,
It's the F word.
but
Let's.
the
it's
F word
an
of TV.
F word
F
minus
word
that
is-
Y,
Yeah,
and it brings a lot of shit down, man.
it brings a lot of shit down.
So-
Which, by the way, other generations of Ken's family thoroughly enjoy that channel, which is very.
Well, no, Fox News and Fox.
It's
Station are
hard
two
though.
different things.
It's still hard.
But
Because
you know what? It doesn't go hand in hand because they both are fucking
It-
shit.
Ridiculous.
Because every time I see Fox, my heart just drops. Fox.
FX kicks ass.
Uh,
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the Jim Jeffries show.
Right,
Nip
cut
Tuck.
that middle
I mean,
vowel
Yeah.
out, and we're talking.
yeah, we're talking some good
Yeah.
TV.
Get rid of the O
Sons of
and you're good.
Drop
Anarchy.
the O.
You put
Right.
that O in there,
Yeah.
like minus the O
Wait,
face,
what?
add the
What?
fucking shit.
Is
fucking
the O
O.
stand for Bill O'Reilly? Get rid of
Yeah,
that
exactly.
and you're good.
What happened
Because
to-
we're talking Fox, the movie company, who has been letting us down with fucking superhero movies for so long now.
21st century
It's
Fox.
like a tradition.
It is.
Yeah.
And what is the superhero that they just announced?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Which is a huge
Which-
cash cow.
That's my
Burrito
absolute
loving.
favorite
Chimichangas, yeah.
fucking superhero.
Yeah.
And I just am hoping that things go well, and that there's the multiple voices in his head, and that hopefully they'd be voice acted by different people. That would be brilliant, you know, because then you can tell.
If you had a really good
because
voice
each-
actor, it could work too.
Or one person who can layer the different voices on it. But
Too bad, Robin.
coming
He
from
would've been
Fox,
good at that.
I'm just so apprehensive about this movie even.
Well,
showing
first of
up,
all, do
even
you
though
think
I
it's going
fucking-
PG-13 right away?
Dude, if it does, it's so fucked.
So you got to think it has to, though, right?
It probably
Because it's a
will.
superhero movie. But the thing about Deadpool is, like, he gets his head chopped off, he gets his arms chopped off,
Yeah.
he gets fucking, he's
Just-
killing
he
like
just
85
grows it
dudes.
back, though, so it can be, you know, slapstick or comic.
That's what I mean. Like,
violence
can
or
they
animated
still get away
violence.
with
It's
like
almost
chopping a
cartoonish.
guy? He's head off, him killing like 50 people, and still having like turning them into chimichangas, and then having that fucking Hydra guy Steve like show up at the bottom. I mean, is it gonna work cinematically and still be able to keep the PG-13? Because you know it's gonna fucking be stuck there. It's gonna happen.
Are they gonna be able to tie in a lot of other Marvel characters either? You know,
well, it has to be tied into the X-Men.
Fantastic Four.
Because does Sony do X-Men or does
Fox does X-Men?
Fox does X-Men? So they finally
Sony
did
has
one
Spider-Man.
fine one by giving it back to the pedophile, and he made a sick ass fucking X-Men movie, and now is it gonna go back to shit like on X-Men: Last Stand, Wolverine Origins?
I'm hoping Apocalypse keeps the shit together, but I'm not like holding my breath or anything.
I'm just wishing that
Apocalypse is
Deadpool-
for sure going to be the main guy, is because it's going to
yeah,
tie
oh,
off
oh,
of
yeah,
the last
it's
X-Men.
going to be the Age of Apocalypse.
Well,
is the next movie.
that's news to me then. That's actually could be fucking boss. If they're
That's specifically
if they're
why
going
they
to
have
do
him.
Bryan Singer is going to be able to get in. I called him a pedophile. I'm just kidding, guys. I fucking love him. I mean, he was with like a 16 or 17-year-old dude that was probably
And actually,
into it.
and actually, that case has been dropped because the dude dropped his charges.
Wait a
and-
minute.
Because
What
he
happened? What the fuck?
Supposedly,
Bryan
he
Singer.
took this kid to Hawaii and fucked him in a pool.
So Bryan Singer,
Condensed
amazing
version.
director of The Usual Suspects and X-Men.
Yeah.
There was like this 16-year-old or 17-year-old kid that he like was hooking up with, and then he like took him on vacation and stuff, and then this kid like later then said like pressed charges against them, but then dropped them or whatever.
Well, and the thing is, the statute of limitations were running out because it took place in Hawaii, and there was something about the statute of limitations, and it was about ready to run out, and that's when he filed his case, like just before they were ready to run out. And then he like withdrew it, but he also
I
accused
know.
a bunch of other people. But supposedly Bryan Singer's camp had proof that he wasn't in Hawaii at the time it happened. So
hopefully it's all just bullshit. And
His
because
camp.
yeah, and all his camp at that time is all of Fox's billions of dollars because their new movie was coming out, and it was like we cannot have this guy have a bad rap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it doesn't matter because you know what, he is great, and that fucking kid. I mean, listen. I mean, I'm not gay, but if I was 16 years old and a female director with a bunch of power wanted to like hook up with me and take me on vacation, I'd be fucking her like 85 times a day.
Well, I mean, and people still watch Francis Ford Coppola movies. Is it
Not Francis Ford Coppola, but the guy who made Chinatown.
How old is this, Brian?
the
How
dude
old
who
is
like
Singer?
the sex charges and now
Chinatown. He ran away to France. They brought him back.
Yeah.
Well,
He
what's
fucking
the-
made
what
great
was the
movies.
age
He did the
difference
Johnny
between the
Depp
two?
movie, The
Yeah.
Ninth Gate.
Is he
Yeah, he
old?
still makes them, and
Is that Singer guy old?
Oh no,
No,
he's
he's
probably
young.
like 35.
Yeah.
No, he's probably like 43.
But hell, if that dude can rape a 16-year-old girl, leave the country, and never come back, and still make good
Yeah,
movies,
she was like
you know.
14 years old too, dude. That was like fucked up, man. Oh,
I just-
God, what is his name? I can't even think.
yeah, that
of
pisses me off.
Still,
I'll-
it was a minor. I mean, I don't.
I mean, I get
can't
that.
get
I do get that, but I think also this minor was just like the fucking
But-
boy calling wolf and like
Right.
you know.
Well, and apparently there was. He filed a couple suits against a couple other people, so I don't know.
You know, like that dude, he's just like baiting people, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not trying to justify this, but Jimmy Page is known to like date a group. Jimmy Page, the guitarist from Led
He
Zeppelin.
kidnapped a girl.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, but he had a 15-year-old girl that he lived with for like 6 months. That they were like close girlfriends, and like they interviewed her recently, and she was like, "He was the best boyfriend I ever had."
He actually took her away, kept her in solitude, wouldn't let her see anyone else, and like kept her for
Roman
years-
Polanski.
Roman Polanski, and kept her for years and didn't release her until actually she was after the age of consent.
Not even years. No, it wasn't years, dude.
I actually just read a thing on it. It was a long period of time. It was more than just a few weeks.
It was like a few months, but it was not years because he like left her when she was like 16 or 17, and he like still toured and shit like that. You know, so like
What's up with these celebrities and fucking all the young and you know?
It's crazy.
Great Balls of Fire. What was his
he
he
married
married
his 14-year-old
cousin? What the
Dude,
hell?
his first cousin.
Dude, Woody
This
Allen
episode got
fucking
bizarre.
married his daughter.
Yeah, I know that is so wrong. What is up with Hollywood? Hollywood, what is wrong with you?
I don't.
Everything.
The same things that are wrong with Fox movies are wrong with
Well,
Hollywood.
and
It's true.
Wow.
I bet they all were in cohorts with Fox at one point.
But seriously, Deadpool's gonna suck.
Deadpool. Well, I'm going to hold judgment until I see it, but it's probably going to suck.
I mean,
I'm not going
found
to.
it,
Yeah, I'm
too,
not going to
so.
lie.
I think while we're talking about just like the worst of the worst, I'm going to mention a podcast that I picked up recently called Caustic Soda. some of our fans definitely will appreciate it.
Yep.
They take some of the worst, most caustic things and just make light of it, make jokes about it the whole time. One of the co-hosts, it's a 3-man team, was actually involved in creating comic books, and like
and they're
the
nerds
movie
through and
industry.
through. I mean,
And
it's a
constantly
great.
make reference.
And
to
they're
the
from.
D&D
Are they Canada?
campaigns? Yes, they're
Yeah,
Canadians,
they're Canadians.
For sure.
And
They always make references to their D&D campaigns that they've done and all these ridiculous things and comic books and the Flash, like one of the guys Flash is his favorite character, so he'll reference which universe the Flash was in that this happened. Like,
nice.
Every episode when they do the pop culture, so
it's so. I mean, it's such a good podcast.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. And like to have you just like tell me that one when I'm constantly looking for podcasts, and then just like stumble one that I can just like totally get behind these guys. It's like so
almost
great.
immediately.
Yeah, it's
too.
fucking
You're just like,
awesome,
yep,
man.
this is a good
Yeah, I
one.
listened to like the very recent one, then the 2 recent ones after that, and then I was like, "Fuck this!" Went back to number 1, and then I listened
It's
to.
kind of rough.
Oh
it's a
man,
little rough. They're
if you
not
listen to
as
those
good.
first 3, they're like so good. You listen to the first one, like you can tell it's their first one.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to start with the most recent, and then if you really appreciate it, go back. Just like any other.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like any
podcast.
Just like
us.
Except
Dude,
for ours.
our
Don't
number one
fucking.
was awesome.
Just
You
go
know
too
what we need
far
to do
away.
is reshoot issue 1.
Just redo it like word for
redo
word.
Like somebody holding 2 cards.
Yeah. We're gonna
Just
recreate it.
Have it on in
John,
front of
suck
us
your
with
gut
that
in.
beer.
No, what you do is you redo it, but you have everyone else play a different role.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my
Ken, you
God.
play John. Sky plays me.
Gotta get a wig.
We totally
Or we're gonna have
should
to wait about
be on the
12 months
sidelines
until
like
I grow my hair out.
more emphasis.
Now, since we were doing some Fox bashing earlier,
Oh,
Yep. Fuck Fox.
I've got some
Except for
hope.
Star Fox 64, baby.
Yeah.
Those
Shout out
hexagons
to
rock.
the cheek flap jowls of the final boss.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Asteroid belts.
I don't know when this episode will air, but this upcoming Monday is going to be the premiere of Gotham on Fox.
Oh, damn.
And I'm hoping...
Aren't
Gotham minus Batman.
Weren't we like in the background of one of those scenes too? The
Well,
We were in the background.
you're a
of
main
most of them.
character, John.
No, they tried to make me Bruce.
Oh, that's
But
right.
the vest was too tight.
No,
right,
you were
that's right.
Poison
No.
Ivy.
No, I thought you were Gordon. They settled you into Gordon.
No, they settled me to be Alfred's like overweight cousin.
Oh, gosh. What's up with that?
No,
Instead of
guys.
Alfred, it's all fed.
I didn't want to release this before it
Oh,
aired
spoiler.
on TV, but
Spoiler.
I'm actually playing Gotham.
You're playing Gotham?
I'm
You're
playing the
playing
city of Gotham.
I'm playing Metropolis, dude.
I
That
was
is
the king of
hilarious.
Gotham.
We have the same mom.
Oh my god.
Warner Brothers, that's our mom.
Oh, shit.
I'm Silver City.
Oh, weird. Star City, where'd you come
Oh
from?
my god. Hey. Oh my god.
Well, I'm hoping
Hey.
they don't fuck it up, and I'm hoping they do like a WB or a CW Arrow, because frankly I think Arrow's they're doing really
I
well.
like
with
Arrow.
Arrow's badass.
So I'm
Flash
hoping
is gonna
Gotham-
suck.
Dude.
I hope
will it?
Flash.
I hope it's
I've
awesome.
I
got
hope
high
it's
hopes
awesome
for
too, John. I
Flash.
want it to be so good.
But
But it's gonna go like worse than Smallville.
I like Smallville.
I've never missed an episode.
I want to
Season 1, I
We're on-
watched them all.
We've got season 5 episodes.
On Sunday.
This
It
too
used to
over
come
there.
up on Sundays. I watched it every Sunday.
I want to give Lex Luthor a hug.
Oh man, Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
What a fucking great Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be Chris Pratt's character in Guardians of the Galaxy. Michael Rosenbaum was one of
Really?
the last 4 guys to audition for it.
Well, you know, and as much as I like Michael Rosenbaum, which I think
He would
you're
have
awesome,
sucked dick compared
Yeah.
to Chris Pratt.
Chris
dude.
Pratt fucking pulled that shit out, and just the whole. Because apparently that was like improvised when he was doing that whole like. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know what this did.
I actually didn't like that as much because I've seen it before.
Man, I thought it was still kind of funny. You know,
Oh,
it was a
I
unique
laughed.
Situation.
But it's like you could have done something else. Man.
Star-Lord!
Well, considering he made it up and it wasn't rich, and I'm like still impressed because you know.
Hey, you got to be
I haven't
impressed,
seen it.
dude. His shit was so good,
And
man.
he had abs. You know, not that made the character, but oh my god, I'm used to seeing him on Park and Rec, where you know he's
On a couch.
Yeah.
In a cast.
yeah
BNR.
shining shoes, and now boom.
Dude, at least he's fucking Aubrey Plaza in that movie or that show. Because goddamn, I love.
And she's the voice of Grumpy Cat now.
Oh, is she?
They're making a Grumpy Cat movie, and she's the voice of Grumpy Cat.
Of course.
They're making a Grumpy Cat movie.
Grumpy Cat's the
I just talked about
Unhappy
Tusk, and I
Christmas or
really
something.
complain about internet things that got made into movies. So
It just shows the internet's everywhere.
Okay, so let's dodge this and go back to Gotham, which I am afraid is just going to end up fucking
I just don't know about
Law and Order style
Yeah.
or CSI style.
First of all, in
Not
order for a
drama,
team
just
for a
like
show to be relevant now, you need to
Primetime
take
TV.
the Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, like methodology where you're displaying a cinematic novel where it's like
Yeah.
every single
Right.
thing is built on top of the next one. You're telling this very large overarching story
Which is
that
perfect
comes
for comics.
together. You can, when it goes on to Netflix, you can binge watch it as soon as the episode ends. It's like you have to watch the next one.
Yep.
That is the way to build a story now and have a show be successful. And where I see Gotham going is not like that at all.
No.
It's going to be the villain of the week.
Catwoman with
It's
the
go-
zipper
yep.
down
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Yep, it's gonna
Penguin
be-
with his emo haircut, Fall Out Boy.
If
I
they
mean-
can prove me wrong and
Yeah.
do that other method, then it's going to be boss.
My understanding is it isn't going to be a villain of the week. It is actually you're going to see these characters develop over time along a large story
So we're
arc.
gonna see
So it's
that,
go-
like,
it's go-
arcing
it's going to be
and
interesting.
peaking
You're
and
going to
dropping
see
and-
be introduced to Poison Ivy, but it's not like boom, 5 minutes later she's Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
No, it's you're going to be
Before,
watching her develop into this character.
Just
The
over
same with all of them.
episodes.
That
Cobblepot
needs, it
and-
needs to happen. And if
Oh,
it
yeah,
goes
exactly.
slow and if it goes well and it's like makes sense to not have Batman there and these things are still happening, then I will totally be on board because I love Gotham as when Skylar plays Gotham, it's like it's better than any other character you've ever played. And I mean,
it's
like,
the only good.
You got a
character
Golden
I've
Globe when you played New York City and
True.
the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But besides that, when you play a city, it's never as good as when you play Gotham. And I mean, like, being your brother in Metropolis and, like, trying to be all pretty and pristine, it's just like, I look up to you as Gotham. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So interesting, you inspire me.
We're pretty
Gotham
dark.
is-
But you're
exterior.
kind of
Gotham
in need
is
of some
probably
repair
one of the
now after
best.
Man of Steel. So
You're making the whole, the joke about it, but Gotham really is like one of the best characters in
of course.
Batman comics always. So, and that's why I make the joke. But
And we've talked
Actually-
before
that's
that
why,
it
that's
is.
why it's such
Yeah.
a
that
decent
actually
idea.
ties back into comic books. There was actually I just read a thing the other day that was talking about a series of comics books where Gotham.
But we don't talk about comics on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where Gotham was actually the main character, and they were just these like single issue stories that take place in Gotham, but weren't actually like necessarily Batman related. But they had the same feel of Batman,
Yeah,
but it was
exactly.
actually based off of Gotham. Like the city was its own character.
Yeah, well, there's been a couple of them. I mean,
That's
like,
kind of cool.
Gates,
That's a cool concept.
There's a miniseries Gates of Gotham that we covered for a while. Scott Snyder, that is just amazing, showing
Pretty
like,
much time.
yeah, showing the like origins of Gotham, and then there's also Gotham Central, which is what is probably going to be kind of what they're doing with the show Gotham, where it's about the cops and it's about the bad guys that the cops are fighting without Batman.
See,
and that's what Gotham
That's
Central.
why I'm afraid it'll turn into like a CSI Law and Order.
And then
some kind
and
of-
then there's
So-
also though.
which
the-
people
I'm
love,
holding
and
hope.
it'll get lots of viewership.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also what was the third one I was going to talk about? Where I mean, Gotham is the character of Gotham. I can't remember where I was going, but anyway.
Probably.
I mean,
Well, there's several
That's
examples of it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Right.
there's just like
I
like
just love the
tons,
concept
yeah.
of that.
It very well is though. I mean, it's so dark. Like they used to say, DC executives when Metropolis and Gotham were created was, we base Gotham as New York at night, and we base Metropolis as New York during the daytime, and that is always going to be the main feeling and like tone that those cities set. You know, it's like genius.
Well, it really is because Gotham is such a actual, like you say, a character in the show. Metropolis, it's where Superman lives.
It's exactly.
Right.
It's.
Right.
I mean, Gotham. It's gritty. Like shit is going down. You know, streets are dirty. You know, there's fucking garbage. There's it's like there's crazy gangs. You know, that's New York at night. And then there's New York during the day. Wall Street's happening. Everybody's getting to their business. Everybody's going. There's pristine
It's almost like
glass
an 80s
buildings.
version of New York, and then like a
2000 exactly.
version
It's like
of New York.
88 New York crack haven.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
fucking
That's like-
2014.
Just like crackheads. And
I
peep
love that
shows and-
analogy.
Yeah.
Well, and
But
there is a block in New York, and I wish I remembered where it was, but we went with the marching band. There's like not even an
God,
hour.
you're a fucking nerd, man.
There's
Both
not
of you
even an
guys.
hour of
Band
sunlight
nerds.
that touches like the ground between these sets of buildings, and it was some of the earlier construction of New York, and they finally figured out, like, we got to get some structure to this, because otherwise we're going to end up with just these dark streets day in, day out. Doesn't matter what time it is, it's going to be dark and shady. Yeah.
Kind of like the Hell's Kitchen of New York.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Just like,
And now that's like a really nice area. Because like when I went to New York, I went to Hell's Kitchen, and then I was like, yeah, I want to go to Hell's Kitchen. And I was like, what the fuck? There's like 8 Starbucks here.
Is that a P.F. Chang?
Yeah. Daredevil's like, can I get a frap?
But yeah, you got to go to. You still go to like where the old Yankee Stadium is. That's fucking crazy. All the subways are like on top of you or whatever, and it's all underneath. That's fucking really shady and awesome.
Chicago. I always thought Chicago would be cool to go to.
Oh, Chicago's awesome. You guys got to take a vacay there, man. They have the John Hancock building. It is fucking sick. It's a bar on the fucking very top. You see the Sears Tower right across, and you're fucking just boozing it up on like all over Chicago with fucking like $4 beer still. It's awesome.
And I'm a huge fan of the Dresden Files. Have you ever read any of the Dresden Files?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah.
Huge fan.
Corbett, friend of the show, is you mean that's his favorite book?
Love it. Would love to go to Chicago and just see some of the places that were written about and be like, that's so cool.
Oh, Chicago has some comic convention.
Yeah, C2E2.
That would be interesting.
Chicago has some big fucking sweet comic book.
They have the
conventions.
third
That's
largest.
The first comic book convention I ever went to was Chicago Comic Con.
I want to go check it out.
And now they have a bigger one, even C2E2, which is the third biggest comic convention in the whole entire world.
Wizard World was what it was.
I love Wizard World. That's where we went.
We need to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go.
Let's find out where it is.
C2E2
It's 2015 at least, though.
2015.
As long as we
It's
get some
usually March
Giordano's
or
pizza,
something.
I'll fucking head right on up there.
I don't even like Chicago-style pizza that
Best
much.
pizza in the world.
New York pizza,
I
that's
will
the only way
We
to
saw
go.
beer
I
and
will
books.
And you don't eat it with a knife and fork.
No, you fold that fucker over. And
They
squirt right
Chicago-style
down the
pizza,
middle
they
as you run into work.
put the sauce on the outside, man. It's weird.
Bill de Blasio, whoever the mayor of New York is,
exactly.
apparently eats his pizza with a knife and fork, and Jon Stewart's always calling him out on that shit, and I think it's hilarious. Who eats pizza with a knife and fork?
Good.
I mean,
And he always
seriously.
calls out the original, what's it, Nick's or Nikki's Pizza?
Well, if you're in Sioux Falls, Nicky Burritos.
Oh,
Meh.
Falls is where it's at.
Nikki's
They were
Euros.
better.
All right, shut us down, John.
Yeah, Nick's Euros.
Oh man. Well, you guys, as always, we like to have a diverse set of topics. So tonight we kind of see ourselves as, opening the
Ramblers.
world up to you. And showing you some popular travel destinations like Gotham, Sioux Falls, New York, Chicago. The usual.
Mostly Sioux Falls,
it's
not come to South Dakota.
It's nothing. It's nothing out of the ordinary. So
Our economy's hurting.